Welcome to this week's webinar. I've got the fantastic Chelsea Foyle from Ellisons with me today, and we're going to be talking more about touchless wellness. Chelsea, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah. This is wonderful.
Oh no, you're super welcome, and I'm going to touch on it. We've got matchy going on, so
Yeah, absolutely.
today was the day for this webinar. Um, Thank you so much. I had a really fantastic visit with you a few weeks ago, and I know we got talking about this, about really understanding what touchless wellness is and low touch treatments. So spas can start to incorporate them in because, as we were saying, there's not necessarily going to be more therapists. We can see that that portion of people entering the industry is potentially shrinking. So, what can we do in a spa to bring touchless wellness to life? So, I've got a few questions.
Yeah.
Obviously, we will off lib and go all over the place, but that's cool as well. So, when people hear the term touchless wellness, what type of experiences are we actually talking about?
It is an absolute great question, and I think I'd rather start with what it's not. And I think people think it's instead of a therapist, and it really isn't. It's there to enhance a spa experience and journey. So touchless technologies, people are thinking it's instead of that therapist, having a technology massage. It's certainly not the case. It just means it's not that hands-on therapy. So you can still have spa hosts. You've still got your spa therapists who will probably act as a guide during that experience, but they are very much self-guided. Again, depending on what technology it is, because there's quite a few out there on market, but it's providing an alternative to touch, but working on the inner is, I would say, it's your mental well-being. It's helping provide that longevity. They should go in hand with each other. So it's not against the therapist touch. And I think that's probably one of the misconceptions within the industry and getting a bit scared about touchless technology is it's to replace a therapist. It certainly isn't. That's not the case.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're seeing the shift away from the idea that every wellness experience needs to be delivered one-on-one by a therapist because robots are not coming in. That's not what you're talking about.
Absolutely not. And the treatments you've got relax lounges, you've got the vibroacoustics and the binaural waves, which you obviously experienced when you came to our head office as well. You've got cryotherapy, you've got ice baths, you've got infrared treatments. There's so many different technologies that is there to enhance that journey. A guest can't just walk into an infrared and know how to use it. They're still going to need somebody there to guide that. But equally, that spa guest, spa host could have 6 different spa guests at once enjoying different experiences, and that's just led by that one therapist or spa host. So it's quite a multiple. You can have quite a lot of different treatments or experiences just led by that one spa host.
That's what it is. It's being a bit more clever with the resource that we have in our teams. So you can have a host that puts someone on a lounger, and then later on the therapist comes in, and you've started that experience sooner.
Absolutely.
And so I think that what people also sort of have, can these touch as wellness experiences really generate revenue? Or should we be looking at them to be designed to enhance the guest journey, or is it a bit of both?
Well, I personally believe it's a little bit of both. Strongly more that it's enhancing that client journey, that guest journey, providing that 360 within your spa business. So you've got something for the body, you've got something for the mind. These technologies certainly aren't cheap. Absolutely not. So we understand that a revenue has got, you've got to bring some revenue back in, but it can't be done overnight either. And I genuinely believe with the spas, it's a massive opportunity to open the doors to such a wider group of individuals as well, not just your traditional spa goer, such as the RLX Brain Gym by Guarini. It's an absolute fantastic technology with proven results to help with PTSD, to help with stress and anxiety, to help with sleep. So if a spa can actually open that up to working with health centres, working with baby groups, what mum doesn't want a
Oh,
pallet app?
yes.
Mum doesn't want a
Power nap.
package.
On the spa treatment menus, mum's power nap.
Power nap, absolutely fantastic, and I think that's probably where you'll get additional revenue from, is not expecting it just to come to the spa for a full day and you get to experience this. Spas could open it up, depending on the facilities, to a one treatment, a one experience, or a course. So I think there is so many different revenue opportunities, but it's allowing the spas to think outside the box on how to get that revenue into the business. If it's the traditional spa day as we know, in my opinion, it shouldn't be a large additional charge. I do believe we've probably outpriced massage these days. It's quite an expensive luxury.
Yes.
Going to the spa in itself is quite a luxury these days. I know myself, I wouldn't be able to afford a £150 massage. I'd feel guilty. I've got to put food on the table for the family instead. So actually going to a spa to know I'm having a complete switch off, I'm going to start my journey with having that power nap. I then might upgrade and have a back massage, whichever. There's lots of different options, but I'm not then just going to a spa to sit round a pool and read a book or natter to my friends. I'm actually got a reason to go to a spa, that I'm actually getting that well-being for me. And that's what touchless technologies, I strongly believe, provide.
Also, just from what you were saying, then they also open the door to people who don't want to be touched as well.
Absolutely.
I've got a friend who I would be like, let's go on a spa day, and she's like, no. And that's because spa days always traditionally come with some form of treatment. And she's like, I just really don't like other people touching me. So actually, when you were just saying there, I was like, it's a great, power nap for mum, or, a way of putting a package together for people who don't necessarily want something that's actually hands-on.
Absolutely. And my mum's the same. She couldn't think of anything worse than going to a spa day, even to the relax, And so, but to get her possibly onto a spa touchless experience, she'd be more inclined to come and have that. But also, a lot of people feel quite vulnerable going into a spa, putting on a gown. They don't want to, body conscious, gents, everybody. These technologies don't have to be within a spa environment. They could be, again, depending on your facilities. If you are a hotel, you may not necessarily need your guests to come through that whole changing room journey to come and experience the touchless technologies, especially with the lounges. That could be in a room outside the spa slightly, so they don't have to go through that journey. So they're more open to come and experience that, just as like you would a salon, go and have a treatment and then leave. You don't have to go through that changing room environment. And I think that's a big opportunity as well for additional revenue.
Yeah, that is a good point, actually. Yeah, not having to get undressed or be uncomfortable in front of other people if you're not feeling comfortable in that sense. And we've talked a few about some of the most popular touchless wellness experiences that you're seeing in spas today. Tell us more about what you're seeing, and perhaps how people are incorporating those individual technologies in.
Yeah, I think at Ellisons especially, we have seen such an increase in the RLX Brain Gym and also the Wellnami. But rather than in single units, they have been purchased in multiples. So it's not just singling it out to a one use only. With Centre Parks, they have just launched their Serenity Suite at Woburn, which is a fantastic area dedicated for. It's 6 of the RLX Wellnami lounges. So a real space for that longevity, that mind and that mental well-being for their guests. So it'd be interesting to see what Laura's concept of that was. Was it so people who didn't like having that massage, they're offering something for those, or is it because they wanted that more of a mind treatment as well? Because it can be marketed in so many different ways.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing, isn't it? Is you can have these now dedicated spaces. I was at Fulham Pier the other day with Michaela and at the Sale Spa, and they've got like a recovery space where there is equipment in there that people can use and create a recovery circuit for themselves. Again, without needing to have more than one person, a host, who will just guide them and introduce them to whatever the different apparatus or products or technologies are, and then they can use them. But it's not your gym, it's not your spa. It kind of fits somewhere in between, doesn't it? It's a dedicated, like you say, almost space.
Yeah.
Where people know what they're walking into. They're going to this space. It's not a therapy space, it's not a gym, it's a recovery, touchless wellness area or suite. I think it's so important.
Absolutely. And I think spa is just we're traditionally known as that massage rather than the wellness. And I'd like to see a shift in that industry. There is a shift in that. The industry is changing. Our spa goers, our spa guests are wanting that change as well. They are looking for that buzzword of longevity. They're looking at different opportunities where they can get that reset. And I think that's what these touchless technologies can provide. If you are in a position as a spa to have quite a multiple different technologies, it's really also important to have a journey for that guest as well, rather than just kind of give them the keys and off they go in. They want to know why I should use this. What are the benefits? How long should I use this? How long shall I be cold in a cryotherapy chamber? How long should I stay in an ice bath? What are the benefits of ice baths? So again, it's that, knowledge transfer as well, but they are coming into the spa already having a bit of a snippet of that because of what they see on social media and what they read about these days. So to be able to provide that, what you've never usually offered, you're massively opening your doors for a different generation as well, but also a different demographic of
Yeah,
customers.
I think you're so right on the demographic and the age piece. As the data that Amy showed from Tribe when she looked at the data of spa bookers, a massive 30 under 35s are the biggest spenders in spa, and 257% increase in male spa users. They're after something very different, aren't they? And they are educated. I would challenge sometimes where they get that education from. We have
Absolutely.
a TikTok. I think educated on social media, but I think then that's the challenge of our teams, isn't it? To
Absolutely.
provide what you said, which is education back.
Yeah,
Um,
I was reading yesterday. It was just Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is 41 years old and he's still playing in the World Cup for Portugal. And it is all about his wellness. And I was really fascinated about his longevity. It's all data, blood tests,
mm,
having everything done. Yes, he'll have private chefs, he'll have the luxuries to be able to live a life like that, but it's all about his performance. It's all about his peaking and how does he get the best performance. One of them, what was interesting is he only sleeps in 90-minute stints,
oh,
which I found fascinating. But again, recovery is not necessarily an 8 hour in his experience, but this is what he looks at. It's the longevity. Not many professional footballers are still playing for their country at 41 years old, but he's
wow.
been doing this for a long time, looking at his all sorts of stats, and it is the data. So it's interesting. It obviously works. It obviously works that you've got to be, it's a lifestyle as well. It is that lifestyle. Going to a spa day once a year, you're not going to have that complete changes, but it's also our job to re-educate and provide a new mindset for that
Mm.
longevity, that wellness as a spa goer. And if you can offer that as a business, then they're going to come back to you more and more year on year rather than try different spas.
Well, actually, that's let me think of something that I hadn't put in our questions, so don't mind me. I'm going to ad lib here, as I said I would. Um, Members, but the things like Touchless Wellness are a massive opportunity. We're talking about the spa goer, like you were saying, who comes periodically, but
Yeah,
actually, for a member, including it in a membership, you might have an entry level membership, which is gym, swim, and some of the thermal. But actually, you can elevate it if you do include things like recovery spaces or a touchless wellness, for your mental health. Go and have this. I saw it really, really well done with Third Space.
yeah,
Adele's put on a
she's
spa
amazing.
add-on. Yeah, which is brilliant. It was cryo, the brain gym, and infrared sauna, I think. Adele will correct me probably now. But those three things in a circuit, and that is something that you can add on to your general Third Space membership. And I think spas
Yeah,
need to look at whether they can start to put those add-ons on because you're not paying per experience, you're paying for an elevated membership.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's the RLX Brain Gym and Wellname are brain entrainment. That's what the more you have, the better results that you are going to see. And their results, like I mentioned earlier, they are for PTSD. They help with addiction. They help with your sleep. They help with anxiety. One go won't change your mindset. It will help you bring down. It'll help bring that well-being during that experience. But yeah, members, if you could offer that, and back to that baby group that I spoke about, or the doctors, or that Andy's Man Club for men's mental health, anything that you can tap into. Again, doesn't have to necessarily be a full members where they use the gym. You could just have the Touchless membership as well. There's so, like I said before, there's so many different revenue opportunities, and I think that's where sometimes the spas put a box on that. It's like, oh, we can't think out, we've not done this before. Let's not take the lid off. We've got to think outside the box. Look at what's around us, look at what the competitors, and also what the members want, doing the members survey. I think that's really important. And you're going to have that one member, you give them a free one and they'll be on it every time, telling the mates after they've had the coffee and after they've done the yoga class. So yeah, your members are also your marketing.
And I think when I was talking about these technologies like 18 months ago, it was very much you put them in a treatment room. What are you going to charge per half an hour, and how and that's going to be your ROI, and that would that isn't actually what you should be doing. Like you're saying, it should be look at who your customer is, your guest, who your member is, and then figuring out what's the best way of adding those systems, those technologies in, so that they get what they need, and in return they'll pay you for it. But if you're not getting it right, people won't sign up, people won't use them, and these technologies will sit there gathering dust.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
No, certainly not. And then it becomes a bad name. It becomes a waste of space, using up a treatment room that could be used for alternative treatments. But yeah, I think the more people that are involved in the decisions for touchless technologies, and the more that spa managers, spa directors, GMs as well, go and experience them, because they're always the harder ones to sell to, as the general managers. So actually get them part of that journey and go out and try them, see how they felt. What's out there? What are you not to compare, but you do want to look at what your competitors are doing so you can provide something else. But yeah, the more people that are involved in that decision and the passion to make that come to life, then in itself that's going to be you plan for the future, you future proofing the spa or the business. The more people are involved in it.
And I think you just made another point there, which is that you need to speak to the suppliers like yourselves, because you have that knowledge. You can say, well, in the experience when we've put X and X in place, this is how we've done it. If you're looking to get cryo, go and speak to a leading cryo provider. How have they done it?
Yeah.
What have they paired together? What technologies have paired really well together? What's worked really well, and get that information direct from the industry, and have those suppliers like yourselves, I hate to say work for the spa, but work with the spa, and do work not for but with, to kind of get the knowledge in place and to get the right protocols so that it does become successful, because it is about knowledge and it's about everyone being on board, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we're privileged and we're proud at Ellisons with our spa partner team. We're a team of therapists. We've got a team of ex-spa operators, spa managers. They've worked in different avenues and different roles within a spa. And that's why we want you to come to our head office like you did, Sarah. You came to the office. It's informed choices. We absolutely don't put any pressure on you. And we treat you to a Marks and Spencer's picky lunch, obviously
very lovely.
Retro style. But come and understand it. We'll listen to your budgets. We'll tell you the pros and cons of everything. You'll get to see them and feel them firsthand. If you need that space to also be a massage room, then we have options for that as well. If you've got a space that's just going to be for relax, we have options. So yeah, come out the spa, come out of the mindset that you're in, come and have a day with us and experience it with absolutely no pressure. But again, you've experienced what it is like to go back and go, you know what, actually that could really work, or I know exactly who would benefit from that, or those in marketing will absolutely run with this on social media. So I think that's, the more people that have got that knowledge and experience, the better.
Yeah.
And more, yeah.
Getting on and trying different things and realizing what fits for you. Are there any misconceptions that you're hearing from spa operators about introducing touchless wellness? Are there things that keep cropping up and you're like, we need to tell them this doesn't happen or this does happen?
I think I kind of touched base on it before, that it doesn't sell itself. It certainly won't sell itself. Absolutely. And I think if you bought that and just left it there, it will just gather dust. You know, you need to do your research, get everybody involved, and same with the training. The training is so important, and it's not just training the people who are going to be physically involved in that spa journey. It's your social media teams, it's your GMs, it's your trainers, it's your spa hosts, it's everybody who has got a touch point within that spa business who are going to need to know about this technologies, because they need to talk about it, they need to be passionate about it. So yeah, absolutely, one of those is that it will sell itself. It certainly won't. It won't. The other misconception again is there to replace the therapist. It's not the case of that. It's there to enhance that journey. Depending on the technology that you go for, you can also add a facial or add a back massage or a full body massage onto that treatment couch. Or again, it's part of that journey, like you said, Adele, at Third Space, she's put that journey in place. So there is so many different options that you can use these technologies with, where you still need that guidance, you still need that knowledge. So it's not there to get rid of a therapist. One of the big ones, especially with the RLX Lounger, people expect it's a massage bed. It really isn't. It's the brain. We're working on the brain. It's an easy sell. Some people say, you know, if I've got a therapist off sick or I've had to cancel that column to put somebody on a wellness bed. Absolutely, you've got that there, but that guest needs to understand the difference. They are not going to feel that massage touch. It is the mental health. It is a massage for the brain, effectively. It's working on that side. So you can't compare. There is some out there that are massage beds, but again, it can't be sold as it's an alternative to the therapist, because they're less disappointed. And I think that's the biggest thing, biggest misconception. It's not there to replace hands-on massage. You can't get rid of these.
Crazy robotic massage machines coming out, and I'm like, I'd like to have a go, but you always think, yeah, it's not. I think it's
No,
enhancing is the exact word, isn't it? It's
enhancing, exactly.
complementing. Which kind of moves me into an area that I think is almost slightly hybrid of it, is looking into like low touch wellness, because I
Yeah,
think there's a heavy focus on touchless, you know, with loungers, LED masks, you know, all the things we've spoken about. But actually, sometimes when we're looking at how we can support our teams, it's actually about looking at how can we, you know, support teams with more low touch wellness. What sort of trends are you seeing there emerging?
so we launched Japanese Head Spa, and that has been absolutely amazing. I know it's not for every spa, and it's not easy installation as well, but that has taken off by storm. It's such a lovely experience for the therapist to carry out, and also
Mm.
the experience. What did you think to it? You had your first Japanese Head Spa with us.
I loved it. I think it's brilliant. But
Yeah.
it's the you think it's the different products, the different smells, you've got all that happening. There was a steam element. I thought, wow, that's amazing. I was, you know, thinking to myself, oh, you could add on a facial mask. There's lots of things to it, but from something that seems so simple, it just delivered a lot.
Absolutely. And I think the multi-sensory, because you've got hot and cold, you've got the aromatherapy oils, you've got the steam, you've got the touch, your nerve endings are all here. Like, it's such an amazing treatment. So yeah, so the Japanese Head Spa has been really popular, but again, such a low margin as a treatment. It depends on what products you use at the same time, but it can be a low margin, but then also great opportunities for add-ons. Like you said, you was already thinking about, you could do a facial, you could do a face mask. And I've seen recently the reverse Japanese Head Spa, where actually you're face down and having the water run on your neck. That looks stunning as well. Not tried it yet, but I have sent it to Jenny, our trainer, going, I need one of these next time in the
Yeah, I'm
office.
wondering how that would feel on there, but
You'd have comfort. Yeah,
yeah.
so that'd be nice. And then the head massage that way round. And also foot as well. I've seen it where they're having the foot treatment that way. So if you're taking pedicures out of spas, but you've still got an element of a demand for a foot treatment, that's the way. So that can be quite multi-use, but that is again a viral. I know we're laughing about TikTok and stuff, but that is a visual sensory that a younger generation will be aware of, because they have seen it all over their social media as well. And again, you're not touching your body, so it's giving that head treatment, multi-sensory experience, but it's also lovely for that therapist as well. Other low touch, I would say, it's linking back to what you could do as a group and also enhancing what that therapist can do. I believe, Sarah, we spoke about it when you came in, is are any of your therapists trained in sound bathing? Because
Mm.
actually going around and doing sound bathing sessions, low touches in meditation and breathing work. You know, when we're on
Mm.
holiday and you've got that annoying team asking you to do water aerobics, you could in spa have that team that actually, would you like to come and have a meditation session? It's free. Go and do some deep breathing. So if you've got therapists who have got genuinely a passion and an interest in more holistic therapies, or have even got that qualification and trained to be able to do that, that gives them a worth as well. That gives them something else to do instead of another massage. And it also gets them out and about, because sometimes, as well as a therapist, we know if you're in a treatment room for a long time, it's quite lonely.
Yes.
So actually bringing that therapist out into the environment, you know, when it's beautiful outside and it's the spa gardens, going round offering ice packs, cool eye masks, just bring that social spa into it as well. So it doesn't have to be a costly experience for the spa, but what you can gain from the experience a customer would have by coming to your spa, and that's the added benefits, that's the added value you have when you come to that spa. You know, on the hour, every hour, we're doing 10 minutes of breathing. It's no cost, but it's something different. And you're bringing that mindfulness into that spa day for that guest.
Yeah, and you're still using your team, like you say, you're getting them out and about, they're out and using their skills. And if they have a passion, you give them the development opportunity
Yeah,
to do a sound bathing course and, some beautiful scripts and affirmations they can follow, or they can do a breath work session. You're going to retain your team more, aren't you? I think that's the thing
absolutely.
with low touch is about how can you use the team to give them things that kind of almost counteract the massages that people traditionally want. Let's
Absolutely.
face it. People go
Yeah,
in, they see a treatment menu of 10 pages, go, oh, I don't know what to have. Oh, massage.
yeah. I'll go for the massage. I'll go for the traditional massage. It's the
Because I know that.
cheapest. I know what I'm getting with that
Yeah.
one. It generally is. It generally is when you're looking at that, and it can be overwhelming. And I think it's probably bringing one of your friends into that spa environment who is not really a spa goer and get their opinion. How did you feel? Because we can take it for granted. But equally, for us, it can be like a busman's holiday going into a spa, because it's the same everywhere. Most of the time, you know what to expect. You
Yeah.
roughly know the journey that you're going to go on. So actually seeing what's missing from feedback from your peers or feedback from your guests that you have about putting something different in there that can make their day enhanced. Me, Gemma, and Rach went for a spa day, and naughty of us, but we took our own face masks and we're sat there in the pods having a laugh, social, you know, taking selfies with a glass of prosecco, and it became that fun because we was there not necessarily to relax, we wanted to relax with each other and have that kind of, that was our relaxation. It was still a social spa, but there we are with thermal eye masks on, with a prosecco, having the best time, you know. So those are some, you know, they're little nuggets that you can take of, they are low touch. Yes, you can get an additional revenue from that, but equally it's about providing that experience for that customer in so many different ways.
Like you say, you can take around a shopping cart around the outside of the spa. Who would like a face mask, because actually that's the thing. People think, oh, I'd like something, or I want to buy X, but you're outside, aren't you? Or you're doing something else. Actually, you could have a shopping experience that is a mobile shopping experience where your therapist takes, here you go, anyone who takes that idea, we'd like to see that.
Absolutely, absolutely. The vision I've got of an Aldi supermarket trolley walking.
Classy cart, Chelsea.
We'll go Waitrose. We'll go the
Classy cart.
Waitrose.
What was I saying? What mistakes do you see? Oh, well, that's a bit more like the misconceptions, but are there any mistakes that people do when they're adding these things to releasing these new wellness concepts? Do they make them sound too complicated? What can they try to avoid doing?
Try to avoid doing is exactly that, making it complicated. I think making sure you've not got pages and pages and pages of information. Like you've just said with the treatment menu for massage, it can get quite overwhelming. So I think we created a bit of a consultation is, what's your end goal? And we will make the decision for you. So yes, there's a bit of a tick box, and you can help, you can answer the questions. How do you want to feel after the treatment? That still doesn't change. We know when you're going to traditional massage, how do you want to feel after your treatment? And that's the same for the touchless technologies. What's your reasons for day? What are you wanting to achieve? What's your long-term goal? And once you kind of understand that, then the therapist should be able to then choose that for that guest, rather than letting them make that decision when it's quite a minefield, I would say. It goes back to also training, like that. One of the mistakes, please have the training. It's not expensive, especially the ones that I know for. You're making that huge investment in the technologies. The training is really nothing compared to what you could lose if people aren't trained properly. And I think that's the big thing. We've seen it before when touchless technology just started coming out. We've had people who have been advocates of it. They've left the business and nobody knows how to use it. So
I've heard of this happening a lot. Yes.
yeah, I think so. Again, back to what I said, the more people that are involved, more people that are part of that team, then the stronger chance you've got of the longevity and the long lasting of that treatment within you, or the experience within the business as well. So I think they're, and also outcharging it, outpricing it. It shouldn't be charged massage prices. It should be add-ons. It should be accessible for everybody, especially for the mental health ones. If we start outpricing it, people then feel that they can't afford to look after their mental health now. And that's not what we want. The world that we're in at the minute, it needs to be accessible to everybody. And it shouldn't be a guilt, it shouldn't be a guilt treatment. It should be
affordable.
Absolutely, it should be affordable. So it shouldn't be the £1 a minute, £2 a minute, whichever. We understand the spas across the UK that do charge different, but when it comes to touchless technologies, think of what you've got. Think of what would you be happy to pay, and would that break the balance, and would I feel guilty if I had that 55-minute experience where I'm just able to shut my mind off and think of me? It becomes like a different type of selfish treatment, but without the guilt.
Guilt-free sparring.
It really is. It really is. And I think, the spa day itself can cost quite a lot of money. You go to the spa and then you can't really afford to have them, the 90-minute massage or the 60-minute. So you look at the express treatments and it's still quite out your price range. So you then don't have anything. So would that stop somebody going back to the spa because they couldn't afford to have the treatment? So that's probably one of the biggest things I would say with touchless technologies. It should be there to enhance the customer journey as well. And also what I would say, and this is not necessarily with the touchless technologies, most spas do a pre-arrival questionnaire consultation, and we generally know it's to make sure that they can have a treatment and they've got no contraindications, generally speaking. I know every time I've been to a spa and I've had to do a pre-arrival, I've arrived at the spa and nobody's mentioned my pre-arrival consultation. Nobody's gone, you've ticked that you're stressed, or you ticked that you can't sleep. We've got this experience today. We've got it free at 12 o'clock. Would you like to book on? They've actually, I've filled out a consultation form, but it's not really been acknowledged. I've just been down slippers and sent to get changed. So I think as well, it's if you've got a touchless technology, treatment, or you've got that journey within the spa, is really enhance that pre-consultation. So when that guest walks through your doors, you already know what they want and what you can guide them. It would be.
Yeah. Things like thermal circuits. If you're not sleeping well, I've got this great thermal circuit. Why don't you do these things in this order? And like I was about to say, for spas with limited budgets, where would you suggest they start? But I've even just answered that myself. But it is, from what you're saying, is to take a look at the consult form, and actually, how do you get people even moving through a thermal area in a way that gives them a result, an outcome, and that it's value add? It's like, rather than just going and loitering and trying a few different cabins, actually, how do they build something that's going to give them a result that they can leave with?
Absolutely. And then probably one last one is to make sure your staff use the technologies, especially I will talk about the RLX Brain Gym and the Well Normally. You've seen our head office. You've seen our wellness suites. That is open to all our staff. They can use it anytime. They just need to book
Oh,
that. We've got a booking system. Obviously, if customers do come in, they take a priority. However, that is open to anybody to experience. So we recently did the mental health week, and that wasn't instead of your lunch hour, please go and have it as well as your lunch hour, your lunch break.
I love
They're
that.
there. We've got them in our building to be used. So and it was quite interesting how many gents used it as well. It's like, well, I tried that one last time. I'm going to try this one. So you get them to compare as well. But I think from a HR perspective, if you've got these technologies and you're wanting to provide wellness and peak performance, your staff need that opportunity as well. So whether it's pre-opening or after opening or whatever rules that you've got in place, nobody really wants to come to work on the day off. So it's more of whilst you're here, before we open, you can have that. And I think the more that you open that up, they'll feel valued as well. It's a real employee engagement initiative as well.
Yeah, because once you've got the equipment there, there's no additional charge. It's not a bit of electricity, but there's not a huge additional charge to allow them to have those experiences. And that's a really nice benefit for people as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It goes on to, especially when you're struggling for recruitment, what are your additional benefits within your business? Like we've got these wellness sessions that you can take advantage of.
I love it. And then one final question from me then. So looking ahead in the next 3 to 5 years, what is exciting you about low touch, touchless wellness?
I think for me, I don't know how much new stuff could be out because there's so many innovations out right now. I think we'll probably just see the growth and the demand of spas really getting on board with it.
Mm,
And I think that's the exciting part. I think once a spa has it, it's the domino effect a little bit. But I think because of the industry, the world is changing, the industry is especially changing. I'm really excited for that future of wellness. It's not just spa. It's spa and wellness. We're opening it up for that performance, all different age groups, all different like we've mentioned it, demographics as well. And that's what excites me. I think spa shouldn't just be for the lead, shouldn't just be for ladies, shouldn't just be for massage. It should actually be part of the lifestyle if you are wanting to have a healthier lifestyle. That's what excites me about it. I've made some own changes. I mean, I haven't got one of these technologies at home. I need to live close to the office to take advantage of this. Living an hour and a half away from Coventry, but practice what I preach in that sense. When I do get on those lounges, it does help switch my mind off. But I just think, yeah, the world is changing. People are looking at their lives a lot differently than what we were 5 years ago. So I think the technologies will only become more popular.
mm, mm.
And we just need to make sure the spas who aren't properly engaged do the research, go and experience it. Nobody's going to deny you. If anybody wanted to come to us for the day, we will never deny that. So come and experience it. I'm sure other companies out there as well will also welcome anybody to come and experience it and send them to spas to have a true understanding of what that can do. And if they can make that investment, then I just think they're future-proofing themselves.
Yeah,
Really.
it's less a specific trend and more just this
Yeah,
becoming a
yeah,
natural part of spa. You go into a spa and it will become a category. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, Chelsea, thank you so much. That's a
Yeah.
brilliant webinar. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
No, thank you for having me, and I'll see you soon.